Good morning. This is day 91 on my hike from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm waking up on a place called Lookout Rock. I camped here last night at Cowboy Camp, so I slept without a tent, just on the ground with a friend. I also got rid of my blow-up sleep pad in Sierra City and sent it home. So it was really thin. I'm still getting situated. It's 8:30 in the morning. Just a lot of little chores in the morning, so I'm running a little behind. But yeah, it was kind of hard on the rock, just laying on that. But I made it work, slept decent, but so cool looking at the stars. I must have seen 6 or 7 shooting stars last night while we were laying and talking, and very beautiful view here too to wake up to. So I will catch y'all on trail. I did 28 miles, PCT miles yesterday. I did more than that because of the detour, but PCT miles 28 and some change. I'm going to try to hit around the same number today. I have about 71 miles to go to get to Chester, which is my next resupplying city. I'm feeling a little sore and beat up, but I'm feeling a new feeling here. My muscles are actually a little sore for the second time, I think, in this whole trail, which is a really good sign, because before it was always tendons and stuff. Like, this is just from being, hard workouts. So I have other ailments, no doubt, but I have more of like a general, like I just got a good workout in kind of soreness too. So I'll power through. I'm tired. I feel a little groggy, but what else is new? So I'll see y'all in a bit. So today is going to be a lot more downhill than uphill. There's still, if I'm going to do around high 20s in miles again, call it like 27, 28 miles. It was almost double when I looked, the elevation descent then gain. But there's still time. We're going to go all up some, then down and up and down as always. But we're going to get all the way up, I think, to around 7,000 and then dip all the way down to 2,000 and then start working our way back up. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more descent than elevation today. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be easy. There's still well over 3,000 feet of elevation gain for today. I'm just taking kind of my first steps here, and I feel a little sore from yesterday for sure, but I don't want to say anything yet until I'm at least a little ways in, see kind of how things warm up. Looks like someone had a little mini trail magic here. There's water, some books apparently. Like, I don't know who's going to be here the whole time just to read a book, but maybe in and out, like you take one with you, drop on the way back if you're just doing like a local hike. There's Highway 70 shown in Belden, which is a town not planning to stop in, but 27.5 miles. Definitely want to get past that today or two there. And then apparently there's just a lot of bees hanging out in there. Well, I'm 5 miles in and I feel way too beat up right now for only being 5 miles in. It's not great. It's probably just an accumulation of the past weeks, and definitely yesterday. Feeling a little beat up from yesterday. I also feel a little under the weather. Got like pressure behind my ears and a little bit of like a hay fever type headache. So today's been a struggle so far. I just don't feel good in a lot of ways. Every step's hurting my left foot right now. It's just kind of beat up from yesterday and not fun when you don't feel good. Just climbed up to this road crossing. Looks like we're in Plumas National Forest near Buck Summit. I'm 9 miles in. It's a little past noon. I just did like a 15-minute break here at the water. I'm really struggling to get moving right now. It's hot. I got a lot of uphill I just did and way more to come. And my feet hurt, my knee hurts. I just don't feel great. Like sinuses. These are the moments that make it so tough to keep going. I mean, day in and day out of this. But I have to do that. Okay, back at it. I am more beat up than normal right now. Every step's just hurting. I'm trying to go 8 more miles before I stop for lunch. I don't know if I'll be able to make it that far. We'll see. Got over 1,600 feet in elevation gain across that time span, and some descent as well. Really not looking forward to this. It's hot. I think it's going to be somewhat exposed. But here we go. Wonder what happened here. It's like a sinkhole. Just made it to Spanish Peak Junction. Just walked past it on that road back there. Just 6,900 feet. Got 100 feet more to go to get to the top of the 7,000 foot climb. That was on the last like 3 miles or so since I last stated the elevation gain. So definitely pretty steep little couple miles there. I'm really sore, but I just gotta keep going. Just talked to a friend, John, who was playing the guitar the other day, and he said that mountain I zoomed in on the other day was Mount Lassen. And Lassen National Park is the next national park that we'll be going through on the PCT. But still got quite a ways to go to get there and on the trail, at least. Kind of a cool meadow. I really like the color, or I don't know what you call the meadow or whatever, this little break in the trees. Basically 7,000 feet up here. I am next level exhausted right now, just in general. About 2 miles away from lunch break. I am so exhausted right now. This is only the second time I've gone 17 miles before my lunch break, so I'm definitely pushing the envelope a little bit, but wow, I am so beat and tired right now. There's a water source just down there, which is where I grabbed some water. That's gravity filtering. And I'll start making lunch, but see if I can get into Belden for dinner, potentially. The trail pretty much goes right through it. Got like 11 more miles, I think, till there. So I'm currently having lunch just over 6,500 feet in elevation. And then over the next 4 miles, it'll kind of go up and down, but it'll kind of plateau around 6,000 elevation. And then 6 miles after that, it goes from the 6,000 elevation all the way down to just over 2,000. It's pretty wild. Like I think it was almost 600 or 700 feet per mile when I zoomed into like the most steep part for like 4 miles or something. So the hardest part of the PCT that I've learned is what goes down must come up. And some comments said that the down is really hard as well. But coming out of Belden, which is what that dips down the town into, it's almost all the way back up. And that will take me into Lassen National Forest and I think Lassen Volcanic National Park. So I'll probably get into Belden is 10.1 miles from here. I'll probably just do a few miles past that. I don't think there's gonna be anything open. It's a small little kind of resorty town on a river. I don't think the few things that are there will be open when they're. If they are, maybe I get a burger or something, but I doubt that'll be the case. So I'll probably just push a few miles past that and camp, and then tackle most of the big climb tomorrow into Lassen. So it's not even that windy at the moment, but there's like a branch of a big tree, I'll flip the camera in a sec, that fell when I was having lunch, and just now I heard a much louder one. Could have even been like a whole tree of a small one. But they call them widowmakers. It's definitely a risk. Someone actually died in the PCT with the tree falling on them. Nobody's died from a bear attack or mountain lion attack, but somebody died because a tree fell on them decades ago. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of this coming up. First one I heard was over there, and then I just heard something way back there. Oops, excuse me. Way back there that was much louder. There's not going to be much shade or protection from the elements here for the next like 7 to 8 miles. Given the burn zone remnants. Little updates on some bodily stuff here. So my right ankle is doing pretty good from that light sprain I had the other day. If I move it to the side, definitely feel it, but been taking care of that and it seems to be healing. My chafing is on and off, which is not fun, but can't do much about that except put some lube or something on it. Right now, my left foot is really bothering me. It doesn't, like the plantar fascia under both my feet are sore. I massage them now during lunch, but this feels more like in the bones, in the sort of the top middle of my foot, like on the inside of the foot. And I don't know why the thought of stress fracture keeps popping into me. I don't even know if I know what that feels like, but this kind of, every step is hurt today. It's been very manageable pain, but like every step hurts, not soreness. And then of course, the rest of my body's sore. I really feel my like glutes, but not in the way they've been hurting me before, where I was having a sciatic nerve pain. It's just really sore from pumping through this increase in mileage the last week or two. That I don't mind at all. That kind of feels it's like a reminder that I worked hard, so it's kind of good. But I am a little worried about this left foot situation right now. Thought maybe resting and elevating at lunch would help, but it hasn't seemed to. So this one could go around left, right, or over. I just went over the last few. Yeah, so these blowdowns, like I definitely heard 1 or 2 happen during my lunch. I don't think this big and massive, but it's so unlikely and a minor concern, but one of these could actually fall in my vicinity and or on me. A lot of people really complain about burn zones, and yeah, it's definitely not as pretty or interesting as a non-burn zone, but honestly right now with some of the growth that's come back, these pink flowers on the floor, I think I did see some trees starting to come in. Yeah, like there's a little pine tree. I just think the pink, it really stands out. The pink flowers, given everything else, there's not much else around. It's got its own little uniqueness and beauty to it in a way. At least this part. I'm not going to enjoy the next. Apparently after Chester, it's almost like 100 some miles or something like that. I don't know exactly, but a lot of burn zone. There's a bunch of people skipping it. So, but I mean, with all those pink flowers back there, I think it looks kind of cool. I had a very disappointing lunch, so I got back hiking at 4:15. So it was a late lunch because I want to get those miles in, but I accidentally left my 2 days of lunches in the fridge back in Sierra City, so I've had to kind of reshuffle around my food, and I won't say ration, but kind of a little bit, and kind of, anyways, I've moved. I had like an extra dinner, and I made that a lunch, and kind of moved some stuff around. So I actually had like a freeze-dried meal with, I had to heat up for lunch today. Peak Refuel is my favorite brand. There's Backpacker's Pantry, which is a decent one too, and then Mountain House, which is a little bit cheaper than the other two. But Peak Refuel has always been my favorite. I'm partial to them. I like their offerings better. They're a little more expensive, but they're pretty good. So I got some of these at this store called Sierra, which is affiliated with TJ Maxx and Marshalls and that, when I was in Lake Tahoe, and shipped it ahead to Sierra City. So I ended up eating what would have been a dinner for lunch today. And they didn't put the sauce in there. It was this it's chicken and rice. It says like with like carrots and like a mushroom creamy sauce. I've had this exact SKU multiple times on trail and before I came out on trail here, and they definitely didn't put there was no sauce in there. It was basically eating plain, bland, rehydrated rice and little pieces of chicken, and because there's no sauce I could really see the pieces. They were not very appetizing, so it was a super disappointing lunch. Honestly, it was more tasteless and hard to eat than having like these tuna packets that I have been having all the time. So when you walk 17 miles and you're just looking forward to some good food, that was so disappointing. And I think out of principle, I'm gonna reach out to them. I took a picture of the barcode on the packaging so they know that one of my little pleasures on trail here is completely thwarted due to their lack of QC. I noticed in that valley and those different mountains down there, those layers of them, there are really very few trees on this side. Wonder if that has to do with maybe the sun or something. Like in there. You can see there were a few in the middle there that are like dead now, but for the most part, you can see them growing on the ridgeline, but not on this side. Yeah, so over the next 6 miles, I'm going to go from an elevation of 6,200 to 2,200, so 4,000 decrease in elevation over 6 miles. Got about a mile and a half left to go. My body is aching, waist down. I am pretty tired and beat up. This has been 6 miles, so I got 1.5 left, but this 6 miles is basically straight downhill, probably the longest on the trail where there's not been any kind of, just a few steps of incline. Just doing something that repetitive that long without mixing it up takes a little extra toll, I think, than if it's more diversified. I'm not sure what river, if that even is what that is down there. I see a pipe kind of leading down to it. I don't know, but I'm gonna come into Belden here soon. I think there's like a store that has a little restaurant, but I'm sure it'll be closed by the time I get there. I'll probably get there between 7:30 and 8. So I'll probably just keep going. I might try to upload a video if I have service there, but that's also a gamble. I can feel the increase in temperature even though I'm not in the sun as I've gotten lower. Definitely hotter, a little more humid even though I was feeling down here. And I actually thought about that earlier before I felt it. Probably worked out pretty well with the timing of me coming down in the evening here. So because if it was during the day, it'd probably be a lot hotter down here. And then I'll be going back up tomorrow. So I think it actually worked out pretty well. I didn't do that on purpose, but I thought of it as I was is happening, and I'm happy for that. I almost stepped on this cute little guy. I think it's maybe a banana slug. I forgot those are even a thing. I was in Washington, Oregon with my family long ago, probably 15, 20 years ago. And I was there on my own, maybe like 8 years ago. I totally forgot. I would move him, but it looks like he's making his way across the trail, and there's only one person behind me, and they're a ways back, so I think he'll be all right. Probably be seeing a lot more of those as I get up to the Cascades, I would imagine. I know they're on the more coastal parts of those states, so. But anyways, that's a cool spot. I haven't been this low in elevation, I think, in a long time, and I can really feel the heat and just feel stuffy. It's like harder to breathe. It's like become very noticeable in the last mile or so. Making my final descent down into the small area town of Belden. This isn't quite it yet, but there's a railroad crossing here. The trail literally goes like right through this little town, so if something's open, I'm gonna stop, get a meal, but I highly doubt it. So I'll check in a bit. So there's that river to the left here. Walking on the street. This is the official trail. And then I should be passing some store in a little bit. Restaurant of sorts, but I don't think it's gonna be open. Well, it's a small little place as expected. Let's see if anything is open. I cannot believe who it is. It's Dylan and Colin. I was weeks behind these guys. Oh my God! How is this possible? What's up? I got here with 20 minutes to spare before the kitchen closed, so I'm gonna have a nice proper meal today. Ordered a double cheeseburger plain, and they didn't have milkshakes, so I got a beer. But and then I'm gonna sit outside here. There are some other hikers in there, a few I've met briefly, but I think they're all speaking French anyway, so I don't want to interrupt. But this is a cool way to spend the evening here, just on the river here and in Belden, just in time. I cannot believe I ran into Colin and Dylan. Those guys are the best. That totally made my day. They were so excited too. They were just heading out here, so I'm gonna see them in a few miles down trail, whether it's tonight or tomorrow. They spent like almost a week, it sounds like, in I think Tahoe with their older sister or something who lived close by and came to visit. So I was like, and they've been going, they said, kind of more, not crazy miles. So that time plus how I've been hitting it really hard is what somehow allowed me to catch up. I thought for sure I'd never see those guys again, on the trail at least. So, so cool to see them. Yeah, spirits are doing good. I'm sore, but I'm going to go. The general store closes here soon too, so I'm going to grab like one or two things from there. Just dumped my trash out, washed my hands, of course, and got one of my phone banks charging. There we go. All right, that was a quick in and out, but it was fantastic. Could not be more pleased with how that went, and lucky with the timing to get there 20 minutes before the kitchen closed and the general store. So I grabbed a few snacks like desserts for the rest of my next couple days that I just wanted a little more of now that I have space, and to support the local business. And had a great burger, and just gonna quickly get back on trail here. I just saw my favorite twins across the way. They waved, so I don't know what they were doing since I arrived, and I'm leaving now, but I'm probably 10 minutes behind them max. They're just on the other side of the bridge there. So very, very excited to see them again and know that they're on trail close to me. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna try to do, one of the hikers I talked to said, not the twins, but French people said that like they're waiting for a package here, but they're timing when they leave to avoid the heat because it's so hot. So I was definitely spot on about that assessment. So I'm going to try to get a few more miles in on the other side of this valley, climbing up so it's less painful tomorrow with the heat. And I stopped walking because I want to show this. Now leaving Belden town. Good luck out there, we'll miss you. What a very quaint little town. I don't know if quaint's the word either, it's just small. But it was a good little stop. I had a beer. I bought one of the pre-made drumstick ice creams and the burger and fries. So it's barely even digested and I'm moving, but that's okay. So the DJ and me was walking and saw, I was like, oh, that table's perfect for some decks. And then I was like, wait, that it looks like a stage. And I will show you here. That is definitely a stage, and that is definitely a table for decks. And I read in some comments that there's like some music festivals here and a bunch of tents, which is very much my vibe or scene, or historically at least has been for the last 5 or 6 years, 6 years. So that's cool too. Moon's peeking out. All right, so we'll cross this bridge here and the trail should resume shortly over it. I actually could see it from where I was sitting. I didn't get a photo or video though because my phone was charging briefly. I've only seen like maybe 3 cars go by this whole time. So even though this is very much highway, it's been pretty quiet, at least this evening since I've been here. You can see the red building over there is where I had lunch. Or dinner, where I just ate. So that's the Feather River, which we had seen many miles back, the middle fork of. Now it's all the way down here, and this was Highway 70. I am going back to the trail, which I presume is going to be up one of these steps. I apologize, these videos are bouncier. It's very hard in this orientation to hold it still. Even with this action mode that I learned about, I'm not always able to put it on. Like sometimes I only have one hand. All right, Indian Springs Trail, Plumas National Forest. Yeah, all right, burn area, enjoy with caution. I'm gonna go read that sign. Actually, I can just zoom in here and read it now. And then there's PCT sign. As I say, what goes down must come up on the PCT. There's the Feather River. I now have 4,500 plus feet of elevation gain in the next 11 miles. But of course, that's not straight. It goes down and up. So, but that is the total elevation gain. We'll be going from somewhere just above 2,000 in elevation down here, which is why it's smart to get out now when it's not super hot, and going to over 7,000 in elevation in the next 11 miles. And then miles after that, I'd eventually hit 8. But the big climb will be this next stretch here. I have my headlamp ready to go since I had stopped in my pocket. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to push. Maybe I'll be able to camp with the twins, but I definitely want to get a few miles in here. Since I have felt like I am behind on this hike as a whole because of the injury time. It is really psychologically reassuring to be catching up to a few people. Like there's a few people in like Tile Campground that I caught up to and that I hadn't seen in 6-7 weeks. And you know, these guys, like, it just feels kind of good psychologically to know that I'm doing okay. Nice view of the Feather River. It's obviously past sunset. Dusk is well underway. This camera makes it look a little lighter than it is. It's kind of annoying. You never even know what's real anymore these days. But I can tell you this vlog is, I don't really filter or edit much. I just basically take all the videos from the day, put them together, and then delete out the stuff that was accidental or shouldn't be. So I was saying, sometimes I'll like accidentally record in my pocket. So I just basically go through or if something doesn't like capture right, like basically like that, but this is raw otherwise. Speaking of, as I was recording that last bit right before this, my phone ran out of storage again. Now in 2 days, so today's Tuesday, July 29th. In 2 days I should be in Chester, and I have a hard drive that you're supposed to plug into your phone that hopefully it will fix this issue. But I am like running on fumes, so to speak, of memory. Look at the size of the spider. It's really hard to tell. I mean, that thing is leg to leg. That thing is like 2.5 to 3 inches. The core of its body is about an inch. I can like put it by my foot. Maybe you can see. Kind of cool to see a train going through this canyon. Having just been on the other side, way up, walked all the way down, got food in between, now I'm back on the other side. Looks like they have 2 engines actually in the middle of the train there. I don't know if I've seen that before. Or those, it's just a car with lights, but it sounds like an engine. My only concern right now with my plan of hiking right now is that, and my plan was always to go a couple miles into here, but there really weren't any tent sites for the whole 6-7 miles down coming into the valley, so I'm not sure why there'd be some on this side, and I don't see any listed. I really don't want to hike that full amount to get up to the top, so we'll see how this goes. That would just be too much for the day. I think my math showed me like 11 miles at the top, but I'm sure it kind of goes up and down towards the top, so maybe it's sooner, but yeah. I don't know, there's not going to be many spots here. Yeah, that would be epic. So the comments said rock chairs, and there are in fact chairs made of rocks. And I'm happy to see my favorite twins again. This is like, it says 0.3 miles off trail. It felt like more, but it's supposed to be really nice by the creek. So this will be the end of the day. I think it's 92, but I'm losing count. I'll see you all tomorrow.